Alright, welcome back to episode 8 of the Tile Megabase. And yeah, I have to be honest, I did a lot of work because I was really hungover yesterday and I felt like playing Factorio, but I didn't really feel like talking. And then I don't know, something happened and I almost finished the whole base. Not quite, but I did a lot of things, and I think, I'm just gonna go through them today. I guess this is gonna be enough for one episode easily, and I'm gonna be on holidays from tomorrow, so this is gonna be the last for a while, for like 2 weeks. I might play a few more hours. I would really like to get it done tonight, so I'm not sure, I might record something else tonight, or I'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is where I left off last time. You can see the green and red signs have filled up by now. But I'm actually very close to starting science consumption, so then everything will actually kick into high gear. It's gonna be one more episode max before I do this, and then there's gonna be a few more episodes because there will definitely be things that go wrong, and there's gonna be more things to do. But I think I might start launching rockets this or next episode. I have almost everything prepared, I think. Okay, enough introductory ramble. I'm just gonna start going through it. The first thing I did was come up with a new station design. That's for, this I can wiggle, I think, up to 4 different belts through here, if I remember correctly. We're gonna come to that in a second. So this is gonna be for when I need small amounts but lots of different resources. And this is the very rudimentary design. It's attempting to be balanced, but it's not really taking care of being exactly balanced. The way this works is, this is counting up all the chest contents here, and it's dividing it by 4. And these inserters here, they have a red wire which is connected only to these 2 chests, and then they get the green wire from this combinator, which is basically giving them the average amount in all of these chest pairs here. And if the content in these chests is higher than this average, then they will activate. So this is a very dumb and rudimentary approach to balanced unloading. It works really well, actually. I did one version where I'm balancing basically this part against this part, and then the same for the 2 up front, and then I'm putting them on different sides here. Then I can lane balance them, and then I actually have a perfectly balanced system. But yeah, this is the general lower throughput, it's difficult to say. Low throughput in terms of how much this station can do, but high throughput in terms of how many belts I can get through here. That was annoying to do. As I said, I'm gonna show a few examples of where I have managed to get lots of different belts through here. And I can, of course, so as it is here, I'm only unloading on half a belt. This half a belt of sulfur is easily enough. And then, of course, what I can do is switch this to the other half and then unload red circuits here on the other half of the belt. So I still have all this room for different belts here. So I could probably get like 10 different resources. That would be a bit difficult, but I think I could manage to get 10 different resources through all of these stations here without resorting to sushi belts. I'm gonna come to sushi belts in a second, but yeah, this is just the same thing again, to unload half a lane of iron, and then I'm unloading half a belt of steel, and then I'm unloading a full belt of iron here. Yeah, it's a tiny bit different here. I'm not gonna go through all the details. I think I just changed the alignment here a little bit so I could change lanes. So those 2 guys are basically unloading half a lane, and then those 2 guys are unloading the other half of the lane. Actually, I didn't really take care of the balancing here. Yeah, I'll see. And in this new station design I'm using another train limiter. So I'm basically saying, okay, I'm changing this for every station. So in this case 3 trains will be enough to supply this. So the maximum I'm going to want when the station is empty is 3 trains. And then for each full train load, wait, there should be 16,000 here actually. Or yeah, because a 1/4 train can carry 16,000 iron plates. So it divides the number of iron plates in here by 16,000 and outputs it as an L. So now this is outputting -2. So the total will be 1 train. So it will call for 1 train when this is empty. That's the general idea of it. Okay. Yeah, there's some reshuffling going on, and I'm making engine units here. So first I'm making gear wheels and pipes, and then combining those to make engine units. And I realized here I can save myself quite a bit of hassle and just make more engine units, and yeah, more engine units, and feed these into a station and pass them on at the same time. I think this is actually the only time I'm doing... no, for batteries I'm doing the same thing. So I'm loading them on the train. This is to make electric engines and robot frames later. And then I'm passing them on here to get turned into blue signs, and this sulfur red circuit belt is just, yeah, it's just running through here. I had to change the loading station a little bit. I did this I think once before, where I pushed it from here to here just to have room for underground belts here. But yeah, this is the as I said, this is just to make my life a little bit easier. Otherwise I would have had to do the same thing again for yellow signs. This way I can just use the finished engine units that I'm already making. Okay, and then these 3 things are turned into blue signs, which just gets put on the top of this belt here. Yeah, I've changed, I think, yeah, I didn't really notice this yesterday, but I unconsciously changed my design philosophy, if you want to call it that. Here I always tried to have 2 assemblers next to each other, and this usually led to only 2 beacon designs, so only these 2 beacons are hitting those. These here aren't. And I've, as I said, without really thinking about it, gone to this kind of design where I have 1 assembler that has 4 beacons. I'm not actually sure which one is more room efficient. Probably the 2 assembler ones still are. But yeah, this makes it very easy to make more complicated designs and to have like lots of different materials come in, and yeah. So I think I'm gonna stick with this mostly, or actually, as I said, there's not that much left to build, so I stuck with this, I guess. Yeah, this is engines, done that. Okay, this is blue signs. Unsurprisingly, it's 1000 signs per minute. This is already filled up as well. I think I don't even want to think about how long I played yesterday, but I guess if you've ever played Factorio, you'll know how this is. Okay, so blue signs is done. This wasn't very difficult because I was already making sulfur, and I was already making red circuits. So the only thing I had to do was engines. Okay, the next thing was military science, which felt a little bit like a chore because I usually play on peaceful and I usually don't do military science, but I mean, a megabase should be a megabase, should do all the 7 sciences, so yeah, this... side note, why are there no trains on here? Oh, crap. Yeah, that's... Oh yeah, I might attach a little, because I did record a little bit of footage last night when I managed to produce a giant train jam, and I thought, okay, I didn't talk through it, but I just recorded the massive train jam. Wow, there's very, very few trains on here. Oh, I think there's something broken. Okay, let me check for a second. Okay, never mind. I think it's just from when I deleted or had breaks in there when I was building stuff, then it's quite long breaks. Yeah, it just takes some time to fill up the whole belt again. I think it's fine. there was movement everywhere. There's a few fluid wagons coming along here. The thing is, I'm a little bit worried about if this capacity will be enough for trains. So if there's very few trains coming here, I'm a bit suspicious that this just... well, I'll just keep an eye on that. It shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, so black science. Yeah, it's a bit... Well, I built it and then I thought about it afterwards, which is always a good thing to do. And I need to unload 2 belts of coal here, and I just didn't have room to lane balance these 2 belts of coal here. And there was very uneven draw from the 2 lanes, so I wanted to lane balance it. So I got these 2 wagons here to go to the left first and get lane balanced here, and then return through here. And yeah, then I have, well, the other one had room to lane balance here, and this way I can have 2 lane balanced belts of coal. And yeah, I was playing around a little bit here and thought about what I'm gonna need where, and tried to minimize the amount of belt wiggling that I had to do. So what I did here was unload iron to the right and, well, balance it here, and then go to the left with this belt. Again, lane balancing it here and feeding it into these grenades. This means, well, this just saves me the hassle of wiggling 2 coal belts through this station, for example. And yeah, this is, I think I rarely did this, that I went to the left from stations, but well, there's no actual reason not to do it. So yeah, this is making grenades which are going down here, and then this iron, the rest of the iron gets turned into ammunition, which means I'm not gonna need any more iron, and the amount of ammunition I need is just a lot less than the amount of the amount of iron that I needed. So I thought it's easier to turn it into ammunition here and then basically move the finished product, which again is going down here. And then there's copper unloading and steel unloading, and yeah, this gets combined here and fed into here, and of course gets turned into red ammo, which is pretty much straightforward. The red ammo just goes on this bottom belt here, which is freed from the yellow ammo here, and all these 3 assemblers are everything that's needed for black science. That's the very nice thing about black, by the way, it's black science and not gray science. I had this discussion before, but to me it's clearly black and not gray. Yeah, the amount of assemblers you need for this is really tiny. I mean, I needed like, where is it? 1 yellow ammo assembler and like 8 grenade assemblers, 3 red ammo assemblers, 1 wall assembler. It's a bit tedious to actually manage to get enough inserters onto this guy. I think it needs like 5 input inserters or something, because it uses like 62.5 stone bricks per second. But yeah, it's overproducing a little bit. So yeah, this should be fine. And then all of these good things get turned into black science, as I said. Again, just outputting it on the same belt here. As long as I have 3 different materials that aren't too high quantity, I think this is the most convenient build. I always have this room for a rail signal here. I have a tiling size of 6 tiles, so this fits very well into my 36 tile rail blocks, and the rail signal here will always be at the same place. So I can just run away and, well, not with the rail signal, and just paste this, and it's very easy and quick. And yeah, it looks the neatest, I think. I don't even need this bottom belt for it. There's another version of it where I can have 3 belts running along here, and this basically shifted 1 tile down. But yeah, I think some rocket stuff I did this way. Yeah, so this is military science. Quick little build. Yeah, the only thing I think I started doing here was doing this intermediate product thing, which is a lot easier. I mean, otherwise I would have had to have, I think it's 1 belt of copper, half a belt of iron, of steel, 2 belts of iron, 2 belts of coal, and getting those all through here at the same time would have been more or less impossible, I think. And yeah, one other thing I started doing yesterday was almost always lane balancing my outputs before doing anything with them, because this just makes these stations work so much better, because the chests unload evenly, and yeah, it's just a lot cleaner this way. Okay, the next science I did was purple, and I think this was probably the most difficult. I think again, I'm starting with green circuits here, and I always mess these two up, and red circuits, which get turned into prod modules. Again, same argument. I only need half a belt, or even I think half a red belt is easily enough to transport these, instead of having to use more belt space to actually transport green and red circuits. And I need to pass on red circuits for the furnaces. So yeah, I can just combine 1 belt, use this finished product, and use the other half belt for the red circuits that I need. This was just the most belt efficient way of doing things. And then I'm adding stone bricks and steel to this. There's a big line of trains coming along here, so this is usually a sign for I cut the belt somewhere and there were trains collecting for quite some time, and then I released them again, so there was just empty space in the front. So this should be fine, but there's empty space behind it as well. That's a bit more worrying. Well, okay, never mind. Getting sidetracked is my main motivation to do this, is just getting sidetracked as much as possible. Okay, so there's stone bricks and steel. I think I need 2 belts. No, it looks like I need 1 belt of steel. And this little, whatever this device is, heart-shaped thing. Well, not really heart-shaped. I don't know. It just separates out the red circuits here. And I'm using this little corner trick here to keep the design as compact as possible. This took a bit of trial and error, and then I ended up with this design. There might have been an easier way, but the thing is they do need quite a bit of steel and stone bricks, and I think 1 inserter isn't really able to keep up from picking this up from a belt is very borderline with 1 inserter. And this way I have this for stone bricks here, which is using 2 inserters, and then this thing going around the corner for steel, which is using 2 inserters, and then it's keeping up very comfortably. And yeah, these 4 are doing all the furnaces that I need, and again they're just feeding them onto this belt. Now I think comes the most difficult part of them all, because rails really do need a lot of materials, and this took some time and some trial and error to get right. First thing is easy. I need 1, or I think even half a belt of iron plates, so 1 red belt is enough, which is why I'm just using the red belt method here. This is the absolute no effort way to get materials through another train station. If you just need 1 red belt, I can just always go along here. The second least effort is having this belt up here, but this already means I can't unload 4 belts from this train station, because to unload 4 belts, well, I just need 1, 2, 3, 4 belts of room, and I could probably do this with belt weaving with 3 colors, but it's a pain. So yeah, this down here is the easiest way without having to change anything in the train station. As long as 2 belts unloading are enough, I can easily go here and 1 further down here. But after this, things get very complicated. So we can see this here. I'm using the top 2 lanes for, or the top actually 1.5 lanes for steel, And then I made a tiny little sushi belt contraption here. So this belt's coming in as one side furnaces, one side prod modules. And then I'm changing the prod modules to the top side. Well, it doesn't really matter which one I change, but I needed them on the same side. And then I just have this little very basic sushi contraption that's reading belt contents on these two here. And these are stopped, or these will only activate when there's the same number of furnaces as prod modules. So yeah, I think this is perfectly fine, and I haven't had any problems with it. It's the dumbest sushi solution I could possibly think of. The reason I'm doing this is I'll always need exactly the same number of furnaces as prod modules. So I'm inputting the same amount. I don't see any way this could go wrong. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think this is pretty solid actually. And yeah, this allows me to just use these two belts here for all the steel that I need. I think I needed 1.3 belts of steel for all the rails that I'm making. And yeah, so this is 1.5. Yeah, side note, I was originally not planning to have this steel station here, because I already had, where is it, this steel station for the furnaces, but I just saw no way. I would have had to get 3 belts of steel out of here, and 2 of them would have had to go on through this iron station, and yeah, it was just a lot easier to use another station, so I decided to compartmentalize a bit. Okay, so yeah, this is, as I said, just going through the top here, and I'm unloading 2 belts of stone. And stone worried me a little bit because stone has a small stack size, and I need a lot of stone here. So I need, again, I think it's 1.3 belts of stone running, and with half the stack size as steel, and almost the longest possible way, because, well, it has to go from here to, not from to, but you get the drill. There's copper, yeah, it's before the smelting parts actually. It's all the way in the raw resources corner here. So yeah, this is probably the longest train ride that I have so far. I guess, well, the coal to grenades one is almost as long. These ones are the ones where I'm worried I'm not gonna have enough buffers, and I put this very convoluted buffer in here. I'm gonna tear this down again because last night I did build a nicer one for, let me think, 444 here, I think. Yeah, this is the much better design, and I'm gonna use this for the stone as well, but yeah, first things first. This is the original balancer design, and the chests here are hooked up to the station. And again, I'm telling it, okay, you can have up to 7 trains if the station's empty, because the combination of these chests and these down here can hold 7 train loads, and then decrease by 8,000, or every time you measure more than 8,000, decrease it by 1. So currently it has a train limit of 0, but it still has 1 train sitting here. And yeah, I think this is perfectly fine. I could probably increase this to 8, but yeah, not necessary right now. I might, so there's still some room here to improve this, but I think this should be working fine. Okay, the iron gets turned into, what are they called? Iron sticks here, which again makes things a bit more complicated because there's now, so each of those needs 1.3 belts. I need 1.3 belts of steel, 1.3 belts of stone, and 1.3 belts of sticks. And I have to get this half belt through here. And the easiest way I figured was combining steel and stone onto one belt. And yeah, the next problem is I'll again need, well, I technically need 1.5 inserters for every one of those resources. And you need, I think, at least 3, better would be 4 output inserters. So I have 4 output inserters here and here. and then there's 2 for iron sticks, and there's 3 combined for steel and stone. And this way they seem to be able to keep up, because I don't really have room to get more than that in here. Even like this, so I could have managed to fit more beacons in here, but they're just unnecessary, because already this is consuming like more than half a belt of steel, more than half a belt of stone, and they only have access to this half belt here. So I basically made this to consume a bit more than half a belt of everything, and then I just replicated this 2 times. So this is consuming 1.5 belts of steel, 1.5 belts of stone, blah blah blah, and it's making, well, it's supposed to be making more than 1 belt. It can easily make 1 belt. That's the important part. And this in total allows me to get 3 more or less compressed belts of rails, which is quite a bit more than I need, so I didn't really take care of compressing them fully. You can see the outputs here. They output on the top side of the belt. They have a belt buffer. They'll always compress the top side of the belt. Those 2 are directly outputting onto the belt, so they won't necessarily compress it all the way, but to be honest, I didn't really care. Yeah, there's enough rails, they're keeping up. It took some work, but yeah, they're working now. This is where I'm splitting this sushi belt again. I tried just leaving it as a sushi belt. For some reason there were problems, like, yeah, inserters were picking out prod modules here and there, and then there were strings of 10 furnaces in a row without, things were getting messy, and it was kind of hindering the design. So yeah, I decided to just change these here to 2 different lanes. And as I said, so far, I mean, the purple signs here is completely filled up the buffer, and I haven't had any issues here, so I think this should be perfectly fine. Yeah, again, this is more or less the same design here. I have the assemblers on top this time for no particular reason, I think. And there's this one, this one rail belt that gets consumed, and then the top belt, of course. And I think these 3 are already, no, that can't be. No, they consume like 1/4 of a belt. Yeah, this is again, I could have saved a lot of room here, but I wanted to fit this into these rail segments again, which was a bit annoying because, well, I could have almost fit 1 more of these modules in here, but it didn't quite work. And yeah, I just decided to leave some room here and here and here to do the remixing of the rail belts. If anything goes wrong, this would be, I could compress this down probably to, like, I don't know, 2/3 of the size. So yeah, this is one of the, I mean, here there's a lot of room here. So I have left quite a few of these spaces here. So if things inevitably go wrong, I can scooch these a little bit over and have some room to work with here. Yeah, this is a very, very, very long design. Well, not very, very. We're gonna come to the very, very long ones. Yeah, but this is working quite well now. It's, as always, for me, the purple signs is always tricky because the amount of rails you need, and you need to properly output them, and yeah, it's always a little bit tricky, but this is working very nice now. I can't really show production stats, I guess. I can check for longer time frames. Well, you can see when so this is probably, let me see, red. Yeah, red signs started being full like 8.5 hours ago, but you can see the line is pretty perfectly at 1. Then let's see, green, same thing. 8.5 hours ago it filled up. Those are the ones that I built last time. Then there's blue signs, which filled up, yeah, like 6.5 hours ago. Then there's black signs, which filled up 5 hours ago. I'm really nervous to see when all of these start going. Yeah, purple signs had these little dips here. I'll have to see, but I think it amounts to 1K. they're just they fluctuate a little bit more, but I'll have to check that. And yeah, yellow signs is probably still going, is it? Yeah, and it's running at 1K. It's also pretty unstable or periodic, I guess. But yeah, it should be working nicely. There's a little dip, so it might not be perfect yet, but I think it's keeping up with the 1K, which is the important part. Yeah, if you were wondering why there was white signs showing here, oops. This is just when I did some testing with rocket silos. I have, there was a comment that, I'm not sure what the name was, someone said he was interested to see how I was going to solve the rocket silos. And it's actually silos, which means I am going to have to cheat there. I think I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in the end, but let's just quickly go through the other things that I did. This is batteries. I started using extra fluid buffers because this can only hold one train load, and this is always going to be too little. I guess it doesn't really matter for sulfuric acid because the amounts that I need are just very low. I think it's like 200 a second, if even. I'm not sure. So this should be fine, but for higher throughput fluids, I'm gonna have pretty massive buffers after the station because I don't think there's an actual way around this. And there's iron and copper. This is not the most difficult and interesting bit I've ever built. I mean, it's just using iron and copper. It's outputting on this top belt here, and it's getting the acid from down here. So yeah, this is pretty much straightforward, I guess. It's making a few batteries. And again, as with the engine units, I'm taking half of it and sending it on here, and I'm putting half of it into the station. The one I'm sending on is for robot frames, and the one in the station is for, accumulators for rocket stuff. This I haven't done yet. This is one of the few things that are still missing. I might do it tonight, I'll see. Okay, so yeah, there's batteries going along here, and this should be lubricant. Yeah, this again has a little storage here. Lubricant is very, very slow, and it needs very, very little, so this is probably very much overkill. I think I need like 30 lubricant a second or something, and this can hold like 300,000 these alone, so yeah, this should last for a while. And then I think this is the only time where I'm actually putting pipes through here and not using the bottom belt. I'm not sure why I did this, just turned out this way. There's just a tiny cosmetic change, but I started doing this. So yeah, I'm unloading one green belt, again lane balancing it, and then combining it with batteries here. And again, or same thing, I'm using steel here and routing this on the bottom. There's no real system in when I'm using which type of routing mechanism here through these stations. It just, sometimes it turns out this way and sometimes it turns out the other way. And I'm reshuffling things here a little bit and combining green circuits with engine units to make electric engines. And the batteries go down here and combine with the steel for later. So this just gets sent on here. And yeah, these electric engines get put on the... they get their own belt, and then the green circuits from down here get pushed onto this belt, and all of this gets turned into robot frames. So yeah, that's all the robot frames and all the electric engine units. Again, this is, in comparison to other things, this is tiny. And yeah, robot frames are loaded onto the train. I think if I had done things a little differently, I could probably just have sent them on and done yellow signs next. But yeah, this would have required me to do LDS before, and I didn't really think about that. And well, now things are this way. So yeah, the next thing I did was LTS though. Let me see how long. Ooh, I'm already at 35 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna speed things up a little bit, but LDS is actually the most interesting thing, I think, because it requires it requires a lot of resources at the same time. And yeah, I did things a little bit differently. So it starts with the standard unloading here, and steel just goes on the bottom, and then I'm unloading copper here. Ah yeah, this is where I built these buffers. That's what I wanted to show before. So each of these 3 belts gets buffered into one of these buffers, and they get balanced before. They don't really properly get balanced after this, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, I didn't lane balance it this time, but I think the way this is set up, it should be lane balancing. I'm not sure. We'll see when things go wrong. But yeah, I'm getting all of these 3 belts through this plastic station, and I need a full belt of plastic, so I couldn't just use this one-dimensional station that I had shown before, but I go to the left with these 2 wagons here, as I did in other station designs. And then I'm using this little snaky trick here to combine this again with these 2 wagons to one full belt, and this gets lane balanced here. So yeah, this inserter here is counting up the left side and taking the average. So when there's less in these 2 chests than there is in these 2 chests, then only these inserters will activate, and otherwise these inserters will activate. Same for this side, and then these 2 sides get balanced by this lane balancer here. So I think this should be an almost perfectly balanced thing. Yeah, there's a few hundred in here, but that's more or less unavoidable. Okay, I think, yeah, this is the LDS build. Again, I used 9 tiles as a tiling distance here, so I could just, if I started out with the rail signal here, I could just place the blueprint, and the rail signal would always be here. So this wasn't too complicated, and then I just kept going until I consumed 1 full belt of copper, then rerouted this copper belt to here. This one just ended here, and did the same thing until here, and then used up the third copper belt, and in the end I got something like, what is it? Oops. 9, I think it's, yeah, 9.4, and I'm not sure, 24 for in total, so I needed 3 of those. So yeah, what I did was obviously, where it starts here. Yeah, this is the whole thing, and this just got copied to here and to here. Let's see if this is properly running now. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, so there's 3 LTS setups that are using 9 belts of copper in total, and are making something like 27, 28 LDS per second, and I think I need only 24, so this should definitely be fine. Okay, then, as I said, I'm gonna try to speed up a little bit, because I'm already over time. I didn't think this was gonna take this long to just recap stuff. Yeah, this next is the very rewarding yellow signs, because this is just, hey, order this on a train, okay, order this on a train, okay, and order this on a train, and then turn it into yellow signs. This was as straightforward as it could get, because all the intermediates are just, I'm already making. This is usually how it goes for yellow signs with me. I'm hesitant because it seems like it's the most complicated science, and then it's really easy because I've already made everything I needed. And yeah, there's a few inserters here, and it gets fed into this train. Again, 1000 signs per minute. I'll not keep saying that every time. Yeah, the next thing is green circuits, red circuits, blue circuits. what's that gonna be? That's gonna be prod 1 modules and blue circuits, which in turn will be rocket control units. So this is already done. Yeah, again, this very straightforward build here. And this, now things are getting really long because you need like 80 assemblers or something like that. I think this might be the second longest single build, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do a ranking. I think the longest is coming next because, well, I have RCUs and I have LDS, or low density structure and rocket control units for people who don't like jargon. So the only thing that's missing is rocket fuel, and yeah, that's what I was talking about with fluid buffers. I'm not gonna take any more risks here because already in my oil production the petroleum and stuff, they're very, very borderline, and I think the rocket fuel build uses like 1000 light oil per second or something of that order. So I just wanted to have a lot of room here. I could even get rid of this and do more. I'll see how this turns out. Yeah, the rocket fuel build itself, it's not perfect, and I was really tired last night, and I thought, okay, I might just tear this down and rebuild it tomorrow, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's not perfectly balanced. I think there's like it's like 15% too little solid fuel. But yeah, I decided to just not do anything about that. It's okay balanced for me. And yeah, it was the most compact I could come up with. I could have outsourced the solid fuel and just make like 3 belts of solid fuel first and feed this into rocket fuel, but I kind of like these direct insertion integrated design things. So I decided to switch things up a little bit. I think I'm going to leave it at this design. I do like it. And there's a lot of these. And then some more. And then even some more. Yeah, this has got to be the longest design, I think. And it was a pretty nice coincidence, but this is my rightmost train station, so I actually managed to fit the rocket fuel thing exactly into here. And yeah, now I'd have to make some more room. Why aren't there any trains coming in? This is a bit worrying that there's no trains standing here, because the last time I checked there were like 15 trains standing here. But they're coming still. They're coming through, so I think everything should be fine. Okay, yeah, I think this is where I'll cut this out here. As I said, I might just upload another episode within a few hours. That's probably going to be short. But yeah, this has definitely been enough for one episode. I'm sorry that this was probably a little bit overwhelming. And as I said, I was accidentally played a lot of Factorio last night. I hope that most of you can understand this. Yeah, I think this is all I wanted to say for today. Thanks for watching, and maybe see you next time. Maybe next time will be very soon. Or it will be in 2 weeks. Either way. Bye.